Hell yeah. All right. It's just you and me. Producer Sarah has slipped into the background where producers live. All right, dude.
All
Let's
right.
freaking do this. Roll an intro.
Hi, I'm Colin, a musician for 3 decades, producer for 2, and FM radio pro for 1.
And I'm Caleb. I've grown to realize just how much I enjoy many different kinds of music.
Hell yeah, man.
And I've made it my mission to appreciate music on another level beyond just hearing it.
So why don't you join us as Caleb and I take turns ripping into and sharing our favorite music with you. Take it away, brother. Let's freaking do this.
Children, plug your ears. The Diet of the Soul podcast has grown up words.
Hey, welcome back to the Diet of the Soul podcast, the music podcast where we experience and discuss things all about music. I'm Caleb, and with me is my brother-in-law, Colin.
What up? It's your turn today.
Yeah, man. My turn, and I have a treat for you.
I bet. I believe it. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that I have heard this music before?
Yes.
Or not?
Yes, you have.
Okay. My computer just waited for us to start recording a podcast and made a sound. Which why would my actual speakers make a sound when I have headphones on?
You have the weirdest issues.
Dude, I'm telling you, dude, the tech gods are not on my side. It's just the way that it goes. I don't understand it. But that's okay because oh,
something happened?
yeah, somebody's breaking in. I gotta go get my AR. I'm just kidding.
You would not. I know when you're sarcastic.
Hey, you want? Speaking of A and R, you want some ASMR? Check this out.
That was good, dude.
I'm on one today.
That was
I'm
good.
on one today. I'm pumped today because, yeah, boy, for the first time in over a half a decade of entrepreneurship, I took a job, dude. I made a promise to myself about 6 or 7 years ago that I was never going to ask anybody for a job again. And I have still kept that promise because I didn't even ask for this job. It was offered to me. And I took it. And it's pretty rad. I've told you about this already, haven't I?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Well, today it's official. The hands have been shaken. The deal has been struck. The bond has been
Formed.
Thank you.
Was this like day 0 or was this like a day 1?
Well, so we talked earlier and agreed that I should probably be a member of the team. But today was the day that I went in to tell him how much money I want in order for this to happen. And yeah, 0 negotiation. He wants me that bad. He was like, cool, done. Cha-ching, you're in. So took a job. But I didn't ask him for the job. So I have still maintained the integrity of my promise. This is only merely a stamp in time. So,
Very good.
It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, man.
And I didn't ask for little money. I asked for big money. Bigger money than I've ever been paid by an employer before. And he was like, yeah, okay, cool. Sounds fair. It was pretty rad.
Very rad.
So, for the listener, Caleb knows what job I'm talking about, but I am the new media and entertainment director for a local brewery and tap room. That is going to remain unnamed because I don't have the consent to talk about it yet. But
I see.
It's pretty cool.
Okay. Explains why you were
So-
so like keeping away from it. Like there, you were like, there was a subtle hint of. I'm not gonna actually explain what this is, but I'll explain what this is.
Eventually, when the place is open, maybe we
Yeah,
can use
I
this
get
as
it.
a platform to promote it. But right now, it's under construction and it's really cool. And I can't wait to take you there, dude. You're gonna think it's dope, dude.
Oh yeah, I'm very excited.
I had this idea, and I don't know what it's gonna be, but uh, uh, they want all of their beers to have like a funny story behind it. And I was thinking on the way home from that whole negotiation meeting that there's got to be a cool story for a beer called Rainbow Stout, right? Because here where we live, fly fishing is really big. So instead of rainbow trout, it's rainbow stout, right? And I haven't really dialed it in yet, but it's going to be a poem about an angler named Jack who catches a fish and the fish can speak. And he tells him that if you put me in a frying pan, you'll be cursed for life. But if you put me back in the river, then you will be blessed for life. And the fish knows his name is Jack. That's all I know
Okay,
so far.
it's getting
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. It's getting there. So I will let you and the listeners know what I come up with when I come up with it. But it's about a half an hour drive, and you got to think about something. And what the listeners don't know is when I'm driving in the car, it's silent. I'm a music fan, I'm a music maker, I'm a music producer. But when I'm in the car, no music, just silent.
Boggles my mind.
Yeah, dude. Everybody thinks it's weird, but all the music's up here, dude. This is the radio station that I listen to. Anything else simply distracts me. I'm the type of person where if I'm going to listen to music, I'm going to be in a frame of mind where that's all I'm paying attention to, with certain exceptions. Working out is one of them. And, well, like, I don't know. There's like partying, but even then, it's very distracting for me. So when I want to listen to music, other people hear music. I listen to music, and sometimes that's just a lot of work. So when I'm in the car, it's silent, but I'm not in the car. I'm on a motherfucking podcast, and it's your turn. Let's listen to some shit. I can't wait to fucking uh like hear what you got planned for us today.
Yeah, so listeners doesn't know, but I didn't give you any music beforehand like I did
Right. Yeah.
because
I have no idea what we're about to do.
in the last episode I listened to your music before we started recording, but I was like, I want to see your reaction, so I'm gonna save the music. And you already listened to this music before, so I'm not gonna waste your time. I'm just gonna hit up record and I'm just gonna show you it. I want to talk about Slipknot.
Uh, hell yeah, dude.
The one word that I can describe from listening to their first two albums is they are so fascinating to me.
Why?
Hearing their music, I don't know, hearing their music, of course, but hearing such heavy backstories from them,
Mhm.
some of the interviews they had, just how they how they act on stage too. The
Yeah,
fact
those
that they
guys are
have like
psychos.
a drum set that like is rotating on like the spindle or whatever that is, just like
Yep.
they're batshit insane, and I love it. They're just so fascinating to me. I knew about them.
Yeah, dude.
Their masks are, I'd say, iconic, but I'd never gone into the band. They're a band that, funny enough, I know I'm a metalhead, but back then they were one of the bands that I was personally kind of like afraid to touch. And I'd say it would be Slipknot and Korn would be those two bands. But now that I'm
Okay.
older and I'm way more of a metalhead and I can understand metal now in
Okay.
a better light, I can respect
Sure.
both of those bands so much more highly now.
That's pretty cool. So, uh, you said Slipknot. I was like, oh shit. Okay, this is gonna be that episode. Now I know why you're so pumped. Slipknot is what we around here call a semester, right? We could spend months talking about this group. But it's interesting the rotating drum set thing because Slipknot is far from the first band to do that. I think the first band to actually do that was mainstream was Motley Crue back in late 80s, early 90s, can't remember. Tommy Lee had a 5-point harness in a fucking, I think it was a racing bucket seat for cars. And he had straps here and over his waist and
Oh,
shit. And they were turning the drum. He would do a drum solo upside down. Like it wasn't just
damn.
spinning. Yeah, they would like elevate him and then turn him upside down and all kinds of shit. But um Slipknot, on the other hand, is up there with Rammstein
Mhm.
for just fucking like pure crazy, dude. Just the best. I haven't been to a Slipknot or a Rammstein show, and I don't really like large crowds, but I would put up with a large crowd
I'm
to
surprised you haven't been to a
see.
Slipknot concert.
Yeah,
That blows my mind.
not much of a concert guy, right?
Right.
But I've been to some really good ones. But I'll tell you what, dude, if Slipknot or Rammstein came through my town, I don't give a fuck, dude. I want to go see. I don't care if I'm in the nosebleeds. These
Oh
shows
yeah.
are dude, just get on YouTube and put Rammstein live or Slipknot live, and you're gonna have a great hour or two. These fuckers are nuts, dude. Slipknot was legendary back in the day for literally lighting each other on fire on stage.
I was watching some YouTube clips about the funniest moments and like the epic the most like fail moments, cool moments, funny moments. And I saw a clip of that where Clown was like doing something with a lighter. There was fire on the drum set, and then Corey got lit on fire with his arm. Yeah.
So for the listener, if you're not familiar with Slipknot, Clown and Corey Taylor are kind of the two main guys. Corey Taylor being the lead singer, who also happens to be the lead singer of a little band I like to call Stone Sour. And um, I don't, I, I like Slipknot. Stone Sour, not so much. But these guys are considered the founding members. Clown's real name is Sean Crahan, and he's actually kind of the father figure of the band. He plays auxiliary percussion, which in like an orchestra is, well, you did it, dude. In band, you
Yeah.
were auxiliary percussion. What are
Exactly.
the things that you played?
I played wind chimes. I played a very small cymbal. I don't know. It might have been a China cymbal. I played the tam tam. I played
Mm.
the bass drum.
Yeah, the big marching bass.
The big bass. Yeah. Um, played the
To be clear,
vibraphone.
when we have wind chimes on the front porch, you just played the chimes, right? The things you hit with the hammer.
Uh,
Those big long metal tubes that you would strike with a drumstick
oh
or a
no, we
hammer.
actually had those. I never knew the name of those, but I always wanted to play them. But no, I didn't play those. I'm talking like actual the wind chimes were real small, so they made like tiny sharp sounds, and I
Oh,
would
a
have a
bell
stick,
tree.
a bell tree.
That's a bell
Right.
tree. Yeah.
Okay. I just
I
call them
just
wind chimes because they just look like them. I think
yeah,
my
yeah, yeah, yeah.
director just said that just to, make it easier for me, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, yeah. Well, Crayon, aka Clown, plays beer kegs. He plays uh uh all kinds of different stuff that guaranteed you didn't have in marching band. And that was one of the things that put Slipknot on the map is that their grind was so hard that they were using and doing shit that nobody was doing. And then on top of that, early Slipknot, they all wore the same jumpsuit, and on the sleeve they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think there was 9 of them at the time. And they didn't have names, they just had numbers on the sleeve. And for many years we didn't know who they were. We just knew lead singer and clown and drummer and all that type of stuff. And as we have discussed bands, the first episode was Sleep Token, and now we're talking about Slipknot. It really added to their mystery, and that would be lame. And they actually received a lot of criticism for needing a gimmick to get big. And all they did was just added more fuck you into their music. These guys were good. They were doing shit nobody else was doing. They were throwing shows that nobody else was throwing. And yeah, I don't even think a Korn show is half as good as a Slipknot show. I think the best live performance is probably Rammstein and Slipknot. As far
Okay.
as legend status, I think that they're pretty close to the same. Lots of fire, lots of craziness. And one of the things that I think is most interesting about Slipknot is that they literally insult their audience. If you are somebody who is a fan of Slipknot, you are known as a maggot. Just a tiny shit-eating worm. And he would be like, "What's up, maggots?" And everybody cheers. They love it. They love it. So I'm
That's
really
the audience
impressed.
for you. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm a maggot, motherfucker. This kind of thing. They take pride in that.
Yeah.
But all these gimmicky things, yeah, sure, it helps with marketing. And just like Sleep Token, if you can't back it up with some real good shit, then you look like a fucking clown to me, and not the kind of clown that Sean Crayon was trying to be. These guys back it up with some serious shit, and I would love to know which of those pieces of serious shit
There's
you want
so
to talk
much I
about
could show
today.
you. Yeah. Out of the first two, I could show you. Man, I wanted to just share the entirety of Iowa because Iowa, okay, Iowa was like a work to me. That was something that I had to sit down. And I wasn't alone. I was just sitting down and I just decided to play some Doom 2016 and I just put Iowa on. And can you take a wild guess on how I listened to Iowa? Played it through YouTube. Through a random YouTube channel that's not Slipknot. Just to show you how chaotic the copyright fair law system is on YouTube. But I'm sure everybody knows that already. But yeah, Iowa was kind of a whole different story and a whole different kind of experience because the story about that album was so sad and so intense. It was like
Iowa.
it was like the entire album was like Slipknot's daddy. And so for the listeners who don't know, when I say daddy, I'm referring back to Korn's daddy as in like a
Right.
disturbing song that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, super heartfelt, super painful. We'll revisit that on the podcast in its new iteration. Caleb is referring to track 12 off of Korn's freshman album, self-titled just Korn. And it addresses a lot of painful subjects. We did it in the previous iteration of the podcast. Caleb mentioned the chaotic nature of fair use on YouTube and Spotify and wherever it is you're listening to this. So we're treading lightly. We'll
Yeah.
come back to it. But I think that's what you mean, right? Is that sort of just ugly, evil, kind of self-dealing with trauma, kind of a...
Yeah, when I'm saying the whole album was like that, there's not like one song that would say like would be the most intense. Like everything is just so disgustingly dark, but
Yeah, so
so yeah.
tune in for some disgusting, evil, dark shit, dude.
I mean, the album cover is insane. I heard on the CD case there was like the first limited edition was like the goat was like a glossy kind of finish to it.
Shoot, dude, you know what? When I finally came around to Slipknot, that was at the beginning of Napster. So I never actually bought a Slipknot album.
Oh man,
Yeah, I know.
you're a
And here,
pirate.
this'll freaking blow your mind. I had a homie that was into Slipknot, you know, when they were really emerging into the scene. I was in a band with, and it's a funny fact, that band was actually called Band, but Banned, as in like you're banned from a place,
Oh,
right? I had to explain that shit to everybody. You're in a band called Band Lame. I'd be like, no, man, it's Banned, as in we're like, you know, this is when Rage was huge, anti-establishment, all that type of shit. And my guitar player insisted on wearing a black jumpsuit or coveralls, not jumpsuit, coveralls, like a mechanic would wear, but like
okay.
mint and black. He was directly influenced by Slipknot. So Slipknot was just coming into the scene, and I would hop in my homie's car and he'd put on Slipknot, and I'd be like, dog, this is too hard for me, dude. Which is,
Really?
I see, this freaking surprise.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because you know the shit I listen to now is harder than a fucking block of marble. So uh that was before I really realized the value that was offered to us as listeners. If you are somebody who listens and doesn't just hear, people who just hear think all metal sounds the same. And to be fair, that's how I feel about country music. It
Mhm.
all sounds the same, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not hating on people that say that, but when you become a student of music, even if you're not a metalhead, you can understand the value that's offered by metal. And when it comes to this particular band, the tightness, and B, the drumming, original drummer whose name I can't immediately come up with now,
Joey
R.I.P.
Jameson.
Yeah.
Joey
What?
Jameson.
Joey. Yeah, Joey. Uh, and also Paul Gray was the bassist who tragically died of an overdose, which um, after which Slipknot recorded the Gray Chapter, naming their album after him. And great album.
Oh.
Yeah, that's where the Gray Chapter came from. Is Paul Gray passed away in a hotel room of a drug overdose. And everybody knew he was struggling. Coming Alive, which is when Iowa, the album that you're talking about, came out. Even I would say that Slipknot was a big piece of me becoming a metalhead because
Okay.
you know, back then, if I was listening to metal, especially what one guy that I used to work with called Cookie Monster rock, because it's all, you know,
Yeah.
you could understand Corey Taylor. You could understand the shit that he said. He was talking at you, and at first it felt like you were getting yelled at by your dad, but then you started listening to the things that he said, and that's why they call their fans maggots. They even have a song, People Equals Shit. Like they openly insult just
Mhm.
people because C. Taylor is he's I consider him to be probably on a borderline genius level with the way he perceives the world and things like that. Like if you
Huh.
take a moment to listen to the shit that he says, unlike many other metal artists, he has something to say. Now we have to provide an example of exactly what I just
All
talked about,
right.
and that was your
Well,
job.
well. Okay.
Hell yeah, buddy, dude.
I
Let's
got
do
it.
this.
I got you,
I'm
dude.
reloading. I'm freaking reloading. Reloading.
Okay.
Dude, Slipknot is so fucking huge that I can't even wait to find out which songs you want to talk about, like which ones are gonna say what it is you want to say. And I'm not
Okay.
even
Do you want
like
to?
I don't even consider myself a maggot. I'm a fan, but I'm not like a hardcore maggot. Those guys are crazy.
Okay, I'm the same line with you because I'm just now getting into them and like hearing about all the stories, the backstories, how they
Right.
got formed,
Yeah.
and I just listened to the first two albums. Yeah, I'm not a maggot, but hell yeah, I'm definitely enjoying
You're
this stuff.
right. You're gonna check out more and more. There's plenty out there too.
Do you want me to go ahead and list with the three that I got?
I mean, don't tell us, just play it.
All right. So this is from Slipknot's freshman album. This is the second track called Sick.
Before you start it, I want you to notice. You see the number number 5 back there? They all wore a number on their sleeve. Nobody knew who these fucking guys were.
Oh, yeah.
Corey Taylor is the lead singer. He's the one in the middle that has that sort of like nondescript mask with the dreadlocks and shit. Sean Crahan is obviously on the right. Now you know why they
Mhm.
call him Clown. But they all had a number. We didn't know who they were. They were just the lead guitarist was number 7. That's all we knew.
Huh.
So, yeah, interesting approach. What song is this?
Okay.
Oh,
It's Sick, the second track.
yeah. Fuck yeah, dude.
All right.
Bring it.
All right. I'm going to have to.
Hey, can I control this too?
No, the music on the YouTube activity wouldn't show up. So I'm going to have to do a screen share for this episode.
Okay. Screen share it is, dude, but you can hear me. Turn it up on YouTube as loud as you can because you can't listen to Slipknot quietly, dude. That's illegal.
Hell yeah. All right, let's do it.
Listen to how hard that drummer is working, dude. Joey Jordison was a fucking legend.
Yeah, and I love the samples that they use too. Yeah, Joey. Jeez, dude. Like, God.
Oh, dude, pause it. I forgot, dude. It wasn't just the number on the sleeve. They also all wore barcodes.
Oh, the barcode is reminiscent to the barcode that was on their like demo tracks.
Really, dude?
Yeah.
Fuck, how do you know more about Slipknot than I do?
Just because I'm literally diving into the lore of Slipknot. Right before we started recording, I heard this video said that the barcode was from the barcode on the back of this CD case of their demo tracks. It's
Yo, Caleb.
that's their first track is called 721000049 or whatever, right? Which is this barcode right here.
No shit, dude.
Which is the first track of their freshman album.
Hashtag research, dude. Look at you go. Fuck yeah, dude. That's awesome.
I'm on top of it, dude.
Hell yeah,
it's my
dude.
episode.
All right. Hell yeah, dude. You're doing a great job. This is awesome.
All right, you ready?
Well, yes.
Okay. Talk about chokehold and like grabbing your neck and not letting go.
Yeah. I mean, these guys were in your face. This was the album that my homie used to listen to where I was just like, this is too fast and he's doing too much yelling and I just don't know if I really like this. And then it's like, dude, now I look back and I'm like, you were such a softie, dude. Go back to the cut time, which I think happened at about 45 seconds or whatever, where, you know, so far this entire song has been in your face, like, you know, and it's just insane, right? And then they sink into a cut time groove that reminds you that we're not just a band that's in your face all the time. We can actually break it down for you and like give you a breath, because in about 15 seconds we're gonna like start fucking pounding you in the face again. And these guys are masters at that. They're not like Sleep Token where they take you through this journey. They're just like fucking headbanging, dude. Like that's it, headbanging. Every single thing is like I'm insulting you, and I'm like verbally abusing you, and you love it, so I do it more. That's Slipknot. So let's see if I pick the right spot. Go for it.
Okay, this is at 45.
Here. And then back into it. Dude, we didn't have this. These guys were up there with Korn, by the way that they fucking changed music. And this is about the same time that Korn came out. These guys were a little bit behind Korn, but Korn, Slipknot, to an extent, Deftones, and now Ghost and Sleep Token. Like these guys were a fucking mystery, dude. And all we knew is that they were coming out with like the equivalent to a nuclear blast, and they just landed on us. They were crazy. They fucking did jujitsu on stage and shit, like lighting each
Yeah.
other on fire.
Yeah.
They were insane, dude. They were insane. And the music is just as insane. They've done more complicated pieces since, and I'd love to talk about that in a future episode. But
Okay.
this Slipknot, it was easily discounted by established artists because they wore masks and had the jumpsuit with the barcode and all that type of shit. But listen to what you're hearing, dude. It's expertly executed. And they did this. This is their freshman album. Maybe producer Sarah could put it in the chat how many albums they've recorded since this album, because I'm pretty sure it's over 20. You can't
Really?
hate on that, dude. Oh yeah, dude. You
Oh
can't
my
hate on
God.
that.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm waiting to see.
Wow, I'm gonna have a I'm gonna have to do I have a long journey ahead of me then.
Yeah. Yeah, and so
Yeah.
does the listener, dude. Don't discount Slipknot just because they have costumes. It's the same as Sleep Token, dude. Fucking they are as good as you want them to be, and their shows are as good as you want them to be. And I'm looking, no, nothing from Sarah yet. That's all right. Press play, dude.
All right, let's get
We'll
into
address it later. Yeah, see, you hear the similarity to Korn here.
Oh yeah.
See, with the angst and the screaming. Hell yeah, dude. So Slipknot is like Slipknot is an example to me of the like opposite of what I think happens to bands. And I'll elaborate. 6 studio albums, 2 live albums, 1 compilation album, and 1 demo. Okay, so 10 total. So I gave him too much credit. But 10 albums is like not a thing to shake a stick at. That's a lot. And it goes to show that they did the opposite of what is the status quo. I'm going to take Pearl Jam, which was big back in the day. Their freshman album was 10, and Caleb, and also listener. If you want to lay back, listen to an album from beginning to end, Pearl Jam's 10 is the album for you. That album alone is a semester. Uh, in my opinion, and a lot of people would disagree with me on this. That's the only Pearl Jam. Uh, it, what I think happens is that um, when you record your first album, you've got all this shit that you've been building up for years, right? All the songs that did the best at all of your live shows. I've experienced this myself. You can tell from the crowd reaction, like what songs are fucking awesome and what songs were not so awesome. And so what you do is you handpick the ones that are doing the best and you make your first album. Thing is that you have, I don't know, 5, 4, 6 years, 7 years to do that. So that's a lot of research, and then you put
Yeah.
12 of the best songs on your first album. But the thing is that you signed a 3 or 4 or 5 album deal, and you have to deliver on the second album. You have to deliver on the third album because there's a bunch of suits that can't pay for their fucking limo if you don't deliver. And I know as a musician myself that writing under pressure is, I want to be clear, I never got a fucking record deal. I know I never got to that level. I switched to radio before that happened. But I know many people that did, and you have to deliver. And so in my opinion, many albums, second, third, fourth albums, or sorry, many bands, second, third, fourth albums, they just, I even think Korn is this way. They just don't deliver. We talked about it in a 1.0 episode that like many of us thought Korn left us in their follow-up albums because it didn't sound anything like their freshman album. Pearl Jam is the same. Slipknot is the same, but different. It's almost like Slipknot came out with their follow-up albums and only got fucking harder and in your face, and the lyrical content became more poignant, easier to understand, more of a message, more weight. This album to me, if I look back on their first album, is, in my opinion, subpar when it comes to the bar that they set when they got, uh, up to like the Gray Chapter and like their sophomore, junior, and like senior albums, and their following was fucking huge. They built a platform, and many would argue those other bands did the same, but they stumbled along the way. Slipknot did not. They just kept getting harder. They just kept getting more in your face. They just kept selling more tickets, more albums. That they did this. Other bands kind of like do this. Sorry if you're not watching video. I'm mimicking a really bad line graph. I mean, these guys have been a juggernaut from day one, and now they're fucking royalty, dude. They're not just metal royalty; they're music royalty as a whole. You're going to find very few people, metal or not, who don't know who Slipknot is. And here's the crazy thing, dude, is that the Grammys have never recognized metal as a genre. So you got people like Mariah Carey and fucking all kinds of people. They don't have a best in metal. And there's a lot of people in the metal community that are fucking pissed off about it, myself included. For some reason, they won't let metal in. And the closest that they've ever gotten, and I would love to be fact checked on this, is hard rock, I think, is the closest they've gotten, or even just rock. But nobody has ever recognized metal or some of the goats in metal like Rammstein, like Slipknot, like Lamb of God. No Grammys on their shelves. You know what I mean? It's fucking stupid. And I don't think it'll ever happen. Grammys are bullshit. It's rigged anyway. All right.
Yeah, at this point, I mean,
Yeah.
at this point in time, I guess there is no more hope for it. It's just, it is what it is.
which is a Slipknot album name. All hope is gone.
I know. I got the image of the album when I said that too. I'm
I
like,
think they
how
have
is he
a
gonna
all.
catch that?
Yeah, I think they have All Hope Is Gone too, as well. There's 2 albums named All Hope Is Gone. There's
Oh,
1
maybe
and
they did
2.
like a 10th anniversary, or maybe they did like an anniversary or like a deluxe edition or whatever.
Yeah, dude. Listener, comment below. Educate
Yeah,
the young man and
be our
myself.
producers for us.
Yeah.
Give us our research. Don't let Sarah do all the work.
Well, listen. I know I talk a lot. I get long-winded, but you gave me Slipknot. I mean, dude, legend.
I know the gates. I
know,
the
dude.
gates wide open, dude.
I'll try to pump the brakes. I'm very curious to see what selection that you have next. Is it on the same album?
No.
Oh, sick. That was the answer I was hoping for, dude. What do we got?
Okay. All right. Next on the list is going to be from their second album, their dirtiest album, Iowa. This song is literally called Iowa. It's the last track.
Okay.
It is 15 minutes long. I don't think we're going to get through all of it, but there's
Wait a minute. The
certain
track is
highlights
15 minutes long?
What's that?
The track is 15 minutes long?
Yeah, Iowa, the last track of the album is it's 15 minutes long, and it's one of those albums where it's like that low start and then it hits you right it hits you. But the thing with this track, it keeps its has like a weird balance of like metal but very slowed down. You're gonna hear it in a second here. But yeah, I'll show you a few highlights. And also the lyrics is just ugh.
What do you mean,
It's
dude?
just dark.
Oh, dark. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's the song that I'm thinking of. Like, if I was in a band like Slipknot, I would fucking make this my first song.
Really?
Yeah, dude, because all this would be playing and the stage is empty and it's just us getting ready and shit. And then,
Oh, I see. Yeah,
you know
I
what
can
I
see
mean?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like that bass.
Yeah.
Did you say Paul Gray was the bassist?
Oh, for a while until he passed. Yeah.
Okay.
I wonder what the figure 14 thing is about. Sir, will you see if you can't figure out what figure 14 is about?
I think you only see figure 14 in like this specific video too. I don't know
Yeah,
if it's
that's
on the
gotta
CD
mean
case or
something.
anything.
Yeah. Nothing from Slipknot means nothing. Dude, this almost reminds me of The Door, like something The Doors would do. You don't know who I'm talking about, do you?
No, not at all, dude. You're old. Just kidding.
Yeah, never miss a shot. All right. The Doors, yeah, are even old for me. They were in the 60s, 70s, I think.
Oh, okay.
Or probably 70s. I don't know. Jim Morrison. You've heard Doors music, dude. Trust me, you have.
Oh, okay.
You have.
I'm actually very interested.
Yeah, dude. YouTube it after. You have heard it. But they were this was one of their trademarks that they would just go on these like sort of long, like almost Pink Floyd-ish kind of just, I don't know, fucking, what's the movie I'm thinking of? I love the smell of napalm in the morning. Apocalypse Now. came out about the same time. Just this like sort of like opium smoking, like droning bullshit. I don't know what I'm doing right now because I've never done opium, but like, yeah, like these weird sort of sounding like drug addled. Yeah, figure 14 Slipknot. It's on the image here. I wonder what figure 14 means. Anyway, let's keep listening. We'll
Let's
get
keep
that in a
listening.
second. Yeah.
And there's the screaming, and then there's some laughter.
I heard
Just-
that. Yeah. It really sounds
probably-
like the drugs were here. These guys these guys all struggled with drugs for a long time.
Well, Iowa, at the time of even making the entire album, like pretty much every member was dealing like with one of their darkest chapters of like depression and anger. It was just spewed out into Iowa, which is why it's so gross, because it's just so angry, but also sad.
Yeah. A lot of relationships were being challenged in this band, which is I think to be expected for a group this large. I mean, you can't have all of those personalities that are so type A and so aggressive and gnarly and not have shit arise. And then these guys would party together. And by party, not you and me having an IPA on the back porch, dude. Like seriously mainlining shit and snorting lines and really in drugs. And it just blew everything out of proportion. So I'm not surprised that that's the thing. Producer Sarah can't find anything about figure 14. So this provides us with an excellent opportunity to ask the listener to let us know. So if you're on YouTube, comment below. If you're on any other platform,
Hit us up.
Instagram, bigbrainmedia.co. So slide into fucking DMs and let us know. Because I want to know, dude, what's up with 14? You know what I'm saying? Anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
What's the part you wanted to show us?
Okay, here it is.
Okay. That's a China symbol. Very tribal sounding.
Oh yeah. I fill your mouth with dirt. See, and he's like when that first lyric, when it hit, and that I was playing Doom 2016 and that lyric hit, I'm like, oh god, I'm in for something else, aren't I? I'm in for some darkness. I love this. There was a comment that I saw on here, and I can't find it, but it was like they said, this is not metal. This is more of a dark state of mind.
Yeah, which is why I'm thinking of The Doors and I'm thinking of Apocalypse Now. Like those were drug-addled, deeply introspective, just journeys that they would take you on. And I mean, not gonna lie, dude, I've been on some bad trips myself. And they're not fun, dude. They're not fun at all.
Yeah, it's sad.
You're sad. I'm not sad. You're sad.
No, I'm just saying the facts.
No, I know. I'm just fucking around.
Let's continue on.
Do it. I think it's really cool that you drew the line from this to Daddy by Korn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Huh.
it does definitely have kind of the same vibe.
Yeah, see what I mean when I was explaining earlier where it was like metal, but it was so like backed off and like slow. What's happening right now is like doom 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 doom. You know,
Yeah,
I
dude.
never heard something like that before.
Yeah. What I think is interesting to me is, first of all, I haven't heard this before. Um, much of the Slipknot I know is like live performances and shit like that. So I'm hearing this for the first time, along with probably a good portion of the listeners. The one
Ooh.
observation that I have so far is that I previously described Slipknot as like in your fucking face, and when you feel like they're in your face, they get even closer. Like these guys were they're talking shit, they're insulting you, like, and when you thought that they had done it, they fucking one up it and even get closer in your face. But this piece of music represents to me an effort to actually bring you into their world, where it's chaotic and crazy. So instead of like being pushing forward, it's stepping back and making the listener curious about like what was going on in your head when you guys recorded this. Uh, like they're taking you on a journey instead of like constantly pushing you back and like chest checking you, which is the Slipknot staple. It almost feels like this song is they are now in a corner, not so tough, and you want to find out what's going on in that fucked up mind of theirs. One song feels like a challenge. This song feels like an invitation. That's how I
Huh.
feel it. An invitation to like go into the fucking dangerous neighborhood that is the mind of Slipknot. That's what I'm getting so far. Keep
That
going, dude.
might be the best interpretation of this song I've heard.
Oh, dude. Hell yeah, dude. Die to the soul, bitch. Listen to the
That is
next
so
one.
unique. Let's go. Now we're about 4 minutes in.
Yeah, let's skip ahead.
What
We're
else? Yeah, let's go. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and go to the most replayed, which is about like
a
nine and a
little bit
half.
before. Yeah, right there.
A little
Yeah,
bit
go a little bit before.
right here.
Well, yeah, yeah.
Okay, let's go 8.5.
Good job, dude.
Okay.
It's also crazy that it lasts that long. 9 minutes of this shit.
You hear that like reverse, like
Yeah, they're playing something backwards. I'm
Yeah.
curious to what that is.
That's not the first time they did that in Iowa. The album, the first track, which is like another number, is 51227 or something rather. I forget the backstory. I know I've heard the backstory of what that was, but I forget.
All right,
But
listener,
how?
hit us up, dude. Comment below or
Yeah, again, the
bigbrainmedia.co.
listeners are gonna have a field day with the research. On
Fuck yeah, dude.
Slipknot. But,
Instagram, bigbrainmedia.co. That's the Instagram. Fucking slide into our DMs, dude. Let's do this.
the first track had reverse screaming, and that screaming was from one of the bandmates had lost their grandfather at this time, and he was like had that corn daddy moment where he was screaming and yelling in the studio room and like crying and breaking down. But in 5122 it was like it was slow, but then you hear like but it was like reverse and like in and out really quick, like what's happening right now.
Dude, why are we attracted to that? That's an interesting psychological question.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe because we just relate
It's real.
on some
I think it's
level.
because it's real.
It's real.
That's the right symbol. I feel like a song is about to start. It's one of the greatest fucking voices in metal, Corey Taylor.
I will kill you to love you.
Yeah, dude.
God, he's like,
He's savage,
he's
dude.
so savage and so gross. Iowa was such a freaking experience, dude. I almost want to just go through it again because God, the first listen to this while playing Doom was just like, God, oh my God.
Yeah.
Slipknot's insane, but this, like, they with Iowa, they just, I don't know. It was just something so unique, and it can't be replicated because it's so real. The distraught in their minds is just, it was just their darkest moment, and they just poured that out. And there was there wasn't even a satisfaction for them. Like in their first album, they said, yeah, that we were angry and we let it out and it was satisfying. But with Iowa, no, it wasn't. We were always angry. And we came in and we left bitter.
Yeah, dude. It really is a band of psychos, or was. I mean, they're all older now. They seem to have calmed down. They know the value of their live show and presenting Slipknot as they always have. But then you look at the behind the scenes and they're all living their best life and making a lot of money. And, but back during Iowa and their freshman, sophomore albums and all that type of shit, like they had to get noticed. They had to be shocking. They had to be sometimes disgusting. They had to be violent. They had to be different. I mean, if you think about it, in that time, you were up against a very well established Korn by that time. And Korn did exactly what Slipknot was trying to do, which is fucking scare your mom and piss off your dad, dude. And
yeah,
they were great at it. But I think that the reason that they excelled is because, like Korn, the dissidence and the pain and the imbalance. I mean, dude, these guys were young men. They were, I don't know what the ages are, but I would guess between 20 and 25 years old. I remember me 20, 25 years old. I couldn't figure out my elbow from my asshole if I had a fucking map, dude. Like, it just angst and it's real and it felt real to us at the time. They were probably closer to between 25 and 30, but it felt real to us at the time. And that was the environment for rock music at the time, was that record companies were identifying bands that would tap into our inner angst being raised by boomers. And we're a confused generation. And I think that Slipknot is a great example of that confusion, that angst, that same with Korn. But these guys, like, I think they realized early on that we have to do what Korn did, but we have to be fucking scarier. We have to be angrier. We have to, everything times 10. And that's, I don't know, fucking why they recorded shit like this. I've never heard this, but I can tell you this much. If you hadn't told me it was Slipknot and you played it for me, I would have been like, holy shit, this is Slipknot. Guaranteed.
Yeah, you would have recognized Corey and
or Joey's style on the drums. I can hear the hints. But again, back then, not many people were making music like this. back then, other big bands were Alice in Chains and fucking Stained. Nirvana wasn't around anymore because Kurt did what he did, but there was a new style of music that was there was they called it new metal, and they didn't even spell it right, motherfuckers. It
And
wasn't N.
it's
It was
NU metal.
NU
It's
metal.
weird. Yeah. Supposedly,
Um,
people say Korn was the one that started that genre.
I wouldn't
I don't know
disagree
how
with that.
I don't know how true that is, but I don't know. I guess some people would say that. I don't know.
Well, to me, I mean, I'll note that the episode is running just a little bit wrong, or sorry, long. I don't know if I said wrong. But I think new metal wasn't a genre; it just was a time, and it like no, I don't remember how to do this. God damn it!
What do you need?
It's different every time. Stop watching. All right. I think new metal was a time, not a genre, and a lot of people would argue with me on that. But um, it's like Stained and all these guys I just mentioned. Pearl Jam was getting into their sophomore slash junior time where they fucking lost me for sure. And it was just a bunch of daddy issues on the fucking FM radio. And I think that's the niche that Slipknot and Korn found was we were sick of being fed this like poor me bullshit. People like me didn't want to be like, oh, my life sucks, and 6 feet from the edge, and I'm about to break, and all that bullshit that was coming from mainstream. And these guys found the opening for those of us who were like really fucking angry, really confused, really frustrated, and stagnant, and and completely unaware of where to go next. And this also happened to be the time that the Twin Towers of New York City got hit by airplanes. And I mean, everybody was angry. But back then, we weren't angry at each other. We were just angry. And I think that's now we're all angry at each other. But
Yeah.
back then, bands like Slipknot and Korn and Lamb of God, who was in its infancy, and many others, even Bizkit, were just like, we don't know who we're angry at, and we don't know why we're angry, but we know that we're fucking furious. And to like get that out and express it through music is the reason why I personally think Korn and Slipknot lasted, and fucking Limp Bizkit and Deftones is still legendary. I would never talk shit on them, but they're not around anymore. You know what I mean? Like there were people who had their finger on that pulse, and there were people who didn't, and the ones who didn't ain't here no more. So I don't know, dude.
I wonder if it was just society as a whole. There was something like subconscious that everyone, the millennials, were aware of, and maybe like there was a lot of certain things that were just kept pushing onto them. I don't know. Maybe I don't want to blame like the boomers entirely, but I'm just saying I don't know. Maybe it was like society as a whole, because there's something there that they were angry at, right? Slipknot and Deftones. Limp.
Yeah. You know what, dude? I have an idea. As we wrap this up, we didn't get to listen to that whole song. So
That was the majority of what I wanted to share. So it's cool.
that's what okay, good. That's what you wanted to discuss. My idea is this. Rather than really analyzing particular songs, I think that should still be part of this. But I think we've tapped into something that's more important, which is the effect that not the effect that music has on us as a people, but what is the effect that we as a people have on music? Right? Because take a look at Kid Rock. He came out with, bow with the bow of the day, and it was metal and all this stuff. And he was presented to the public as like this sort of white trash trailer park hero. And he grew up in a fucking house that was nicer than the one that I grew up in. And I grew up in a nice house. You know what I mean? So why do we latch on to certain pieces of music? Why do we latch on to that anger? Why do we latch on to, what's the lady who does all those like adopt a pet commercials?
Adopt a pet.
It's not Sinead O'Connor.
There's a lot of adopt a pet commercials.
No, dude. Everybody on the world except for you and me, including producer Sarah, knows who I'm talking about. Like all of her music is sad. Oh, here it is. Dude,
What you got?
Lightning. It's
Yeah,
fucking
McQueen.
Sarah McLachlan, dude. Yeah, super sad music. There's something about that sadness, that angst that we latch onto. I think that's one of the reasons why we like Sleep Token so much. But that anger and that angst, these guys latched onto it and they gave it a voice. And maybe that could be a theme for a future episode.
Yeah.
Let us know either again in the comments or sliding into the DMs. But would that be something you guys were interested in hearing us discuss?
Yeah, guys, post questions of angst or anything that would be related to music like that. Like
Yeah.
deep, like philosophical questions. Yeah, that would be very cool.
Yeah. Like,
I'm
why
very
are we
down.
attracted to things that should make us feel bad, but then they make us feel good when it comes to music? Because, I could tell you that if my mother heard the music that I listened to, she would be genuinely confused because it sounds like it's supposed to make you feel angry or bad. But it actually, I'm not speaking for Caleb here. For me, it actually makes me feel really good, calm, and relaxed. And, I get more anxious listening to fucking techno than I do metal, right? So, I don't know, dude. Let's start a discussion.
Now you got me thinking if I'm the same way, actually.
I think you might be, dude, but I can tell you this much. The fact that you brought Slipknot today is kind of telling, and definitely welcome. You're going to hear a lot of the same names on this podcast: Slipknot, Korn, Rammstein, Sleep Token, Porcupine Tree, all kinds of stuff that make us feel different ways. And that's the magic of music, and that's the reason that we wanted to do this podcast. So my sign off is don't just hear, listen. It'll change your fucking life. Good job, dude. This was a good one. Take us out.
Yeah, guys, if you listen this far, thank you so much for listening. If you watched this far, thank you so much for watching. Please consider leaving a like and a follow, whatever platform you may be using and listening to this on. And seriously, don't forget to just rock on. I'll catch you guys later.
Peace.
Big brain.